My fellow citizens, America's comeback starts right now.
Yeah, you take incoming fire. That's just the nature of it.
Mr. President, is it too early to say whether this missile was fired from Russia?
It's official. The 45th president is vying to be the 47th president. Donald Trump is in at an announcement at Mar-a-Lago. We've got all of the highlights for you. Also, yesterday, Ron Desantis responded to a question about the criticisms coming from Donald Trump. And on top of that, Russia may have attacked a NATO country and therefore launching us into World War III. As if we didn't have enough things going on. All that and more coming up on this episode of Daily Caller Live. My name is Jobob. Thanks so much for tuning in. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
2, 1.
Here we go!
That might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually their name, Jobob.
From the dingy bunker, completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. Thanks so much for tuning in on today. It is November 16th, the year of our Lord 2022. And it happened. The official announcement from Donald Trump has officially happened at his home in Mar-a-Lago last night. It wasn't a surprise, shock and awe, something that was out of left field. It actually was what everybody was expecting it to be, which I feel like might even be a little off-brand for Trump. But, you know, such is the modern world. So Trump has officially announced that he will run for president in 2024. There's a lot of stuff to talk about here. We've got pretty much just a bunch of highlights from it. We've got clips galore from this. And I feel like, I don't know, there could be some discussion on each and every one of them. We can kind of then talk about what conservatives / the Republican Party / freedom lovers think about this particular announcement. Varying degrees of I hate this. This is the worst thing ever to, oh my gosh, yes, finally, and everything in between seems to be the stance that people have taken on the internet. Now, I will say, before we kind of get into these clips, I don't think anything he said was that outlandish or out of the ordinary. He's been kind of on a tear the last, I don't know, week or so. If you've been watching this show, we talked about his truth rampage on really weird Glenn Youngkin stuff, and obviously hitting Ron DeSantis, who he's still trying to use that term Ron DeSanctimonious. I don't think that works. I think a lot of people don't like that a lot at all. But regardless, everything he said in the speech was pretty on point in terms of policy stuff. Now that doesn't get rid of some of the times that he sticks his foot in his mouth, but policy-wise, I think a lot of conservatives are going to be pretty excited about this. So without further ado, let's kind of get into some of these clips. Again, we got a lot, so stay, tuned to all of the stuff that the president or the former president said last night. Check this out, starting with this, and just listen to the roar of the crowd too. This is fascinating. Oh, by the way, really quick before we move on, if you haven't already, would appreciate you clicking the little like button and the little share button, especially today because we've got a lot of people watching. Just because I don't know if you heard the big breaking news here that's on this Chiron. Donald Trump announced for president. So if you wouldn't mind clicking the little like button and the little share button and the comment section. Tomorrow, I'm going to go through all the comments from today because I'm going to be on the road and, I don't know, conduct like a little poll of what our viewers think. We'll bring us some other kind of non-scientific polls. But anyway, sorry. Here's how this thing started out. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and my fellow citizens, America's comeback starts right now.
Okay, so there was that. That's how it started off. The bottom line of what I wanted to show there was you saw the people there. The room was packed, and they were cheering as if, I don't know, I don't know. They were cheering loudly. Let's get to the actual announcement. Here is the official him telling the crowd he's in. Watch this.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
That's pretty enthusiastic. As I'm watching it back now, it feels like a little bit less enthusiastic than his big crowds are generally at those big rallies that he holds. But I don't know, maybe his an indoor space kind of felt more like it should be, I don't know, more civilized and less of the outdoor arena rodeo crowd, rodeo arena crowd that's like just fired up all the time. There was a lot of people there. They were all cheering. I don't know about if they were cheering as much, and I feel like I'm slicing it pretty thin here on trying to analyze this. I also am aware that analyze isn't a word. I'm being funny, at least maybe. If we rolls on, now we get into some of the policy stuff. Check this out.
$150 million a year. That's a lot of money. I said, all right, stop at borders. Other countries that we defend have borders. We defend other countries' borders, but we don't defend our own.
Dude, okay, so in the last couple months, even the last year, last 2 years, if that was the only thing President Trump was talking about, I think there would be a much different situation happening. I would imagine if he decided to talk about the border, to talk about education, what's going on with the woke stuff in the schools, even though it's local, the federal government has a lot of say in the local stuff. If he was talking about crime, and even talking about safe and secure elections, something that we don't have right now. If those were the things that he was talking about, and he's hammering those, hammering, this would be a walk in the park for him. But it seems that because he was talking so much about the election stuff, now this is not the conversation where we're going to try and to figure out what actually went on in the 2020 election, but had he just focused on more of the issues, I think he would be in a much better standing than he is now. And he kind of continues to go on and talk about a bunch of the policy stuff. Check it out.
This will not be my campaign. This will be our campaign all together. Because the only force strong enough to defeat the massive corruption we are up against is you, the American people. It's true. The American people, the greatest people on earth. We love them all. And we love both sides. We're going to bring people together. We're going to unify people.
Dude, see, had he been talking like that during the campaign in 2020, I think he would have won re-election a lot. Here's part of the problem that I think a lot of people have. And again, I'm curious to hear what you guys think in the comment section. I'm going to go through these after the show today. I think there's too much flying in right now to be able to like distill it down to a couple things, bringing it on the screen here. But I think a lot of people are in agreement that if he was like 10 to 15% less bombastic, kind of like what a lot of people describe Ron DeSantis to be, but if he was a little bit less, pulled it back just a touch, he would have been a two-term president easily. So that when you're talking about this sort of stuff, when he's talking about bringing both sides together and all that sort of stuff, that's all great. But I think a lot of people are kind of saying, and this is what I'm getting anecdotally from, the comment section, but also on all of your social media platforms, Twitter, Getter, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Conservatives as a whole, and again, I'm not talking about all of them because I'm sure there's some loyal Trump people watching this. I'm not talking about every single person, but like it seems like 60 to 70% of them are saying, too little, too late, man. Kind of on the DeSantis train at the moment. But again, we'll all just have to see how this shakes out. He continues on. Like I said, we got a lot of clips from here, just playing the highlights. If you didn't watch, that's fine. You didn't need to watch because we got you covered. Check it out.
The world was at peace. America was prospering, and our country was on track for an amazing future because I made big promises to the American people, and unlike other presidents, I kept my promises. I kept them.
You know what I think it is? I think it's like a corporate crowd. It's kind of like, it feels like the Super Bowl, kind of. The crowd in the room, Like the NFC and the AFC championship games, the championship games that lead to the Super Bowl are in a home team stadium. So it could be at a just rockin' home crowd to see if their team gets to go to the Super Bowl. Then the Super Bowl is in some like third party off-site city that has a really nice stadium. And it's more of a corporate crowd that doesn't really cheer with the same fervor that the home crowd would cheer for. So that's kind of what this feels like. It's not necessarily that they're less enthused. It's just a different kind of crowd that's at this event. At least that's what I'm thinking. We continue to roll on. We got a lot.
To further drain the swamp, I will push for a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on members of Congress. It's time. It's time. For a permanent ban on taxpayer funding of campaigns, a lifetime ban on lobbying by former members of Congress and cabinet members. No, I see what they make. They leave the White House or they leave Congress and they're paid millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. No, you have to have a ban. We want a ban on members of Congress getting rich by trading stocks with insider information.
Gosh dang it. See, this is the thing. Everybody agrees on that. Like, this is a great thing to have said 2.5, 3 years ago. Man. Oh, this is going to be really, really interesting, folks, to see if Trump goes back to the issues and focusing on the policies that I think people want, like, again, border control, term limits even. That's something that even, like, lefties agree on. Maybe not Nancy Pelosi, who has been in Congress since the prehistoric era. But a lot of people on the lefty side of the aisle, especially your more, like, classical liberals, like, yeah, like, the power is too centralized in a few people's hands that just sit there forever. Like, that is a pretty liberal thing to think. But I don't know. That's now he's talking about it, which is great, but again, could have been useful a long time ago. So it's going to be really interesting to see if he kind of diverts back from this, like, shove your foot in your mouth, tweeting, truthing, whatever comes to your head, and goes into the policy stuff. Then it's going to be just who knows what happens. Here we go, rolling on.
Eliminate cheating. I will immediately demand voter ID, same-day voting, and only paper ballots.
That is a big-time winning issue for conservatives. I've been saying this ever since I started doing this show, which, by the way, we've been doing this for like over a year now, and I like completely passed the birthday of doing Daily Caller Live, which is exciting. It's cool. Congratulations to us. 2 months late we've been doing it for about 14 months now. But since the beginning, I think probably the very first show, because I literally talk about this every single freaking day, we need to fix the election system in the United States. Now, I mentioned yesterday that I don't know how the federal government can constitutionally engage with the elections, because the Constitution kind of explicitly says that states are the ones that are in charge of the election. So I don't know how you necessarily do that. I am not a constitutional attorney, nor do I pretend to be. But somebody's got to figure out something, because if we don't believe the election results, we lose the country effectively. So that thing I also agree with. Again, from a policy perspective here, I don't know if Donald Trump said anything that I don't agree with policy-wise. The personality thing is going to be tough and continues to be tough. We roll on. If you haven't already, would appreciate you clicking the little like button and the little share button. Again, really, really appreciate you doing that, especially if you're watching on Facebook. It really, really helps us continue rolling. And also, let us know in the comment section what you think. The question is not necessarily Trump or DeSantis. The question is Trump or somebody else. And, most, I think probably 90% of people are going to say DeSantis. But just, I don't know, do you stick with Trump, or is it, is it more of the, and by the way, too, the people that are saying, like, it's time to go, are not saying anything other than right now is not the time. In a lot of ways, I kind of probably in a lot of ways align with the Matt Walsh way of thinking, who I think was one of the first bigger names to come out in support of Desantis, not necessarily in that line of who should succeed, even though I can understand the arguments there, but in the line of, look, appreciated the policies, appreciated you shining a light on NATO, the border, the education system, America just getting played by the rest of the world, and especially all of the judges. But now is not the right time. And so I get that. So when people are saying here in the comment section, you don't need to get in fights with each other, saying it's time to move on, know that they can appreciate the work that Trump did from 2016 to 2020, but also still think it might not be the right time for this sort of thing, regardless whether or not he's running. So we'll get to, at the end of this too, we'll also get to the massive glaring problem that I could see happening, and I just really, really don't want to happen. Continuing on with highlights from Trump's speech last night.
America's golden age is just ahead, and together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America glorious again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Seemed like a more corporate audience for this sort of thing, as opposed to the home team crowd in the AFC or NFC championship games. If you don't know football, sorry, that's lost on you, but that's what I think is going on in this crowd. They weren't as enthusiastic, but at the same time, I just think it's a different group of people than people that generally attend Trump rallies, around the country. So I don't know. That is what it is. Keep it coming in the comment section. I would love to kind of go through some of these later. And again, they're flying in faster than I can read and bring up onto the screen. So I don't want to risk, reading a dumb one and bringing it up. So yeah, let us know in the comment section. Do you think it's Trump 2024 or Trump's train has left the station and it's time to move on? Thank you for everything, but going to be tough. I think the biggest argument here is whether or not he is electable in a general election. That, I don't know. Having said that, I think one of the biggest concerns that I think a lot of people are going to have, especially with this primary system lining up to be the way it is. Look, Ron DeSantis is running for president. Whether you like it or not, I know there's some of you, I've seen this in the comment section, that says Donald Trump in 2024, Ron DeSantis in 2028. That's just not in DeSantis's best interest or how he should maneuver. Floyd Mayweather, it's not to use another sporting reference, but Floyd Mayweather's well-renowned as the greatest pound-for-pound boxer to ever fight. Part of the reason that he did that is he scheduled big fights with big names appropriately, meaning that he fought all of the big names, Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao, just to name a few. And he did that later on in their careers, basically saying that the way that Floyd Mayweather stands out as the best pound-for-pound boxer of all time is he strategically maneuvered his fights in such a way that he could be more successful. The same principle applies to Ron DeSantis right now. If Ron DeSantis were to run in 2024, and we've talked about this before, so sorry if I sound like a broken record. If Ron DeSantis were to run in 2024, he would be a sitting governor. We like electing governors. We don't like electing senators, by the way. Barack Obama is kind of an anomaly, but if you look at the long history of presidents, we like governors because they've proven that they can run a state at the executive level, unlike senators who are, again, part of a big group project. What am I saying here? Oh, we like electing governors. Ron DeSantis, if he runs at 2024, will be a sitting U.S. governor, 6 years into his term, very, very popular in his state, and pretty much popular throughout the entire country. Now, let's just say he doesn't run in 2024 and he pushes it off to 2028. I believe Florida has a 2-term election policy for their governors, which would mean, actually, you know what? I'm not even sure if they do. Maybe my whole argument falls apart if they don't. Can somebody let me know in the comment section if Florida has a 2-term limit on their governors? I know Charlie Crist, well, I don't know. If that's the case, let's just say he's no longer a governor of Florida and doesn't run in 2024. 2026, his term as governor ends, and then he's just kind of sitting around hanging out, and that doesn't work when you're running for president. It is better to run. It's just like any job. It's better to apply for jobs when you have a job than to be jobless trying to apply for jobs. You can be a former governor running kind of just, I did my book tour and now I'm consulting and now I'm going to run for president. Or you could be a sitting governor. The bottom line is Ron DeSantis has to run for president in 2024 for his own political sake. Where was I going with that? Oh, this is the big scary thing. This is the biggest thing that I'm worried about right now. If Ron DeSantis, when he decides to run for president against Trump, if Ron DeSantis were to get the nomination, the thing that I would be the most concerned about is Donald Trump then running as a third-party candidate in the presidential election. He could get the signatures. He could be on the ballot. And then you have 2 effectively Republicans running against whoever the Democrats put up. And that's how I think the United States ends up with an accidental Gavin Newsom presidency or an accidental Kamala Harris presidency. That is worst case scenario. And unfortunately, given the trajectory of some of the initial polling here, and given the ego on the 45th president, I can see that happening, and that scares the living daylights out of me. So there's that. To move on here to just same kind of vein, but I wanted to move on to this. DeSantis finally responded to a reporter who asked him a question. Hey, what do you think about Donald Trump saying these things about you? And I don't know, man. This can do some pretty convincing work on hopping on that DeSantis train. Check this out. This guy is polished. He doesn't get rattled. A lot of people on social media, on news media outlets, on a bunch of places are saying Ron DeSantis has all of the good qualities of Donald Trump without the shoving his foot in his mouth. I don't know, every other day. Watch this. This is pretty good. Here's DeSantis talking about answering the question on how he answers Trump's stuff. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already, I appreciate you watching this today. Big news today, so we're here. We're doing it. Would appreciate you clicking the little like button and the little share button down here. Would appreciate you doing so. Also, let us know in the comments section. Is it Trump's time or is it Trump's time? Time to stay or time to go? That's what I meant by that. I would appreciate you doing that. We'll look through the comments and kind of have an anecdotal polling when we come back tomorrow. So there's that. Here's Ron DeSantis talking about being asked about Trump.
We would like to know what you think about Trump's big announcement and some of the less than flattering comments he has made about you.
Well, one of the things I've learned in this job is when you're leading, when you're getting things done, you take incoming fire. That's just the nature of it. I roll out of bed in the morning. I've got corporate media outlets that have a spasm, just the fact that I'm getting up in the morning, and it's constantly attacking And this is just what's happened. I don't think any governor got attacked more, particularly by corporate media, than me over my 4-year term. And yet, I think what you learn is all that's just noise. And really what matters is, are you leading? Are you getting in front of issues? Are you delivering results for people? And are you standing up for folks? And if you do that, then none of that stuff matters. And that's what we've done. We focused on results and leadership. And, at the end of the day, I would just tell people to go check out the scoreboard from last Tuesday night. The fact of the matter is...
That's about enough of that. That's it doesn't really go. He kind of goes on for a little bit longer. But dang, that is a pretty dang good way to spin that question. He effectively didn't even acknowledge it at all, which is the correct strategy if you're on DeSantis. So, yeah, man, that argument that he's all the things that Donald Trump was in terms of being on his game and firing back at the media without some of the, I don't know, more colorful things that Donald Trump says. That argument seems to make a lot of sense to a lot of people around the country. Again, let us know in the comment section what you think. Oh, but did we forget? We might be in World War III as of yesterday. I don't know if you heard about this because Donald Trump's announcement, I think, sucked up a lot of the news. But 2 people in Poland were killed by what some people think is a Russian missile, what some people think is Ukrainian missile, but a missile nonetheless coming out of the war in Ukraine. Now, what's the significance of that? Well, Poland is a member of NATO, and the NATO pact, what is it, Article 5 of NATO, says that if any NATO country is attacked, all of NATO goes to war with the attacker. So, Russia attacking NATO, effectively Poland, therefore NATO, would be a problem, which would mean the United States is now militarily involved in the war against Russia. So there's that. Here's Joe Biden talking about that, and there's a glimmer of hope here. Well, glimmer of hope, but also, watch this.
There were scores and scores of missile attacks into Western Ukraine. We support Ukraine fully in this moment, and we have since the start of this conflict. We're going to continue to do whatever it takes to give them the capacity to defend themselves.
So that's the president just saying what happened. Here's the interesting part. Here's the question. The way he sounds. Anyways, here's somebody asking him a question, what he thinks is going to happen, or where can we definitively say where this missile came from? Watch this.
Mr. President, is it too early to say whether this missile was fired from Russia?
There is preliminary information that contests that. I don't want to say that till we completely investigate, but it is. It's unlikely in the minds of the trajectory that it was fired from Russia, but we'll see. We'll see.
It's unlikely.
He's saying it's unlikely that it actually was a Russian missile. And now, what I got an update here. What did I get specifically? I was trying to pull up the specific update that I got on my phone while I was at dinner last night. Basically said U.S. officials think that it is a Ukrainian missile that was being shot at a Russian missile, kind of like the Iron Dome situation, and missed the Russian missile and landed in Poland and killed 2 Polish people, which sad, terrible situation for them. But that's what the U.S. is saying, at least as of right now. If the information has changed earlier this morning, I haven't seen it, but that's what they're saying now. And my thought is, regardless of who it is, I don't think anybody wants to be in a war right now because of NATO's Article 5. And so in a lot of ways, whether or not it's true, it would be beneficial for the U.S. to say, oh yeah, it's a Ukrainian rocket that was shot up in a Russian missile, but missed, and that's what landed in Poland. It was, don't worry, it was not Russia that attacked a NATO country, and therefore Article 5 is not a part of the picture, and we're not at war with Russia. So I don't know, man. This is getting wild. I wanted to bring this up before we hop off here. This is if you follow Breaking 911, it is one of the most fascinating Twitter accounts on the platform. Just a bunch of really, really interesting stuff, videos, photos. Anyways, Breaking 911 has a poll that's been running since, the last 7 days. This is a 7-day poll. It said, who should lead the Republican Party moving forward following the results of Tuesday night? This has been going. It's still ongoing. It currently has 87,000 votes. And of those 87,000 votes, Donald Trump has 25%. Ron Desantis, asking the question of who should lead the Republican Party moving forward, has 67%. Again, this is not a scientific poll. It is a Twitter online poll, but Ron DeSantis 67% to Donald Trump's 25%, 8% are going to other. That is, pretty telling, especially the people on Twitter. Now, I'd be curious to see if they ran that poll on like Getter or Truth Social that kind of has a lot of conservatives on it, but it seems like the conservatives are going in one direction and not a ton of them are going in the Trump direction. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And at the end of the day, I hope once a clear winner comes through the primary, whether it's Ron DeSantis, whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's that Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, there's a whole bunch of people out there that would be great for that job. I hope we can all come together and not have beaten ourselves up so hard that we end up accidentally creating President Gavin Newsom. Oh my gosh. It wouldn't even, Gavin Newsom being the president would be bad from a policy standpoint. Every American would be worse off if Gavin Newsom was the president. But on a personal level, it would upset me so much to know that he knows that he's in the seat that he's been trying for since he was like 25. I don't even want to think about it. Anyways, that's going to do it for us today. We appreciate you sticking around, tuning in. I know on this big news day. Tomorrow we will be live from, where am I? Lexington, Kentucky. I'm hoping the show will go on at the normal time, but who knows? Because I don't know, travel stuff is chaos. I've mentioned the last couple days, if you live in Moorhead, Kentucky, or Bowling Green, Kentucky, I will be in Moorhead on tonight, Wednesday night, and doing a comedy thing there. You can find not tickets, the link to the tickets on my Instagram page, which, by the way, if you haven't give me a follow on any of the social media platforms. Just type in Jobob to pretty much anything. You'll be able to find where I'm at. There's schedules, places that I don't even know about. We're going to be in Moorhead State in Moorhead, Kentucky tonight, and then Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green tomorrow night. I think both events are at 7, but again, check the internet because I'm not. Don't trust me to know where I'm going to be because I'm going here and then go there. That's how I live my life at the moment. So, if you live in those areas, see you then. I feel like there's a bigger point that I was getting at. Oh, yeah, we're going to be live from Kentucky tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens Friday, honestly, depending on the travel schedule. So that's going to do it for us today. Again, let us know in the comment section if you haven't already. Would appreciate you clicking the little like button down here and the little share button over there, especially if you're on Facebook. We will see you tomorrow, probably same time, different place. God bless America.